Hello, family. This is RC Blakes, and I am so thoroughly excited. I'm excited because Queenology 2024 is coming back to Atlanta, Georgia, August the 23rd through the 25th. The host hotel is going to be the Whitley Hotel. Amazing. Women are literally coming from around the world. It is a multicultural, multi-generational, multiracial movement of women from around the world. And I want to invite you and yours to meet Lisa and I in Atlanta, Georgia at the Whitley Hotel, August the 23rd through the 25th for Queenology. For those that have the Royal Court package, it will afford you your entire stay for the weekend. It will also afford you a private, formal dinner with Lisa and I to open Queenology up. It also affords you admission to every event, everything that's happening for the entire weekend. Now, we also have the Saturday brunch and intensive package, which allows you to get into the brunch where Lisa and I will be sharing the messages that God has given us for 2024 to share with the ladies. This year, I'll have my own message, and Lisa will also have her very own message. It's going to be powerful. During the Saturday brunch and intensive, we're also going to have a very distinguished panel of men that are going to sit before the queens and answer the questions that women have always wanted to ask men. It's going to be amazing. Now, also those that are part of the VIP experience, there will be a time where Lisa and the ladies will gather in what they call, I think, the pajama party. And it will be a time where women will have conversation among women. I'm really excited about the culmination of Queenology this year because none other than the incomparable Dave Hollister is coming to be a part of our closing event, the all-white party. He's going to sing the Queenology theme song as well as entertain the ladies, the queens, for that evening. Queenology 2024 promises to be like none other. Those of you that want information, if you desire to be a vendor, Queenology.net. Those of you that may need payment plans, Queenology.net. Let nothing stop you from making your way to Queenology 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia this year. Tickets are going very quickly. I would love for you to meet us in Atlanta, August the 23rd through the 25th. Queens from around the world are coming. Queens from around the world are rising. It is going to be a coronation. It is going to be a crowning.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
Hello. This is R.C. Blakes. Let me just get my microphone situated so I can talk to you today. How's everybody doing? I pray that you are having an amazing day. I pray that you've had an amazing day. If you're watching this from the United States of America, it's nighttime. Overseas, it's some other kind of time. Whatever time you're watching it, just have a great day and have a great life, right? Now, we have something powerful that we're going to discuss today that I think is going to really open your understanding relative to some of the stuff I've been dealing with when it comes down to type versus kind. Now, we're not dealing with that specifically today, but what we are talking about is or are the intangibles. I've been trying to figure out how to word this. We're really talking about how a woman can look beneath the surface, look beneath the type, so to speak, and how she may discern the intangibles of a man that is a husband. So if I'm saying to you, you got to do more, you got to do better than just allowing your fleshly impulses, your sexual energy to choose a man for you, or even to choose a woman for you, for men based on sex appeal, but you have to look deeper. Well, what are the metrics? What are the qualities? What are the qualities a woman should look for in a man? In fact, about it, I'll even change the look for, feel for. And of course you can look, you can observe, in other words, these things. But what are these qualities? And so that's really kind of what I want to deal with today relative to, I guess, seven keys to trying or discerning a man to see if he's, or to feel if he's husband material. So please do your due diligence to invite everyone to come into this discussion tonight. Share this, call your friends, copy the link, send it to them by text message, however you got to do it. Get the people in the room. We're trying to bring content that really transforms and elevates the consciousness of a generation. We're raising royal consciousness around the world. Now, let me say this. Queenology is coming up in just a little over a month. And we still have some spaces that need to be filled. I've not really pushed because Queenology has traditionally been an intimate gathering where I get a chance to really take pictures, talk, hug, all of the people that desire to have that kind of personal attention from Lisa and I. And so I never really pushed for it to get too big. But I think this is going to, in conversation Lisa and I had, I think this is going to be our last Queenology for a while in terms of a conference style. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And so with that being said, I want to make certain that those of you that want to have that experience, that you don't sleep on this year's Queenology. I need you to go to queenology.net, and I need you to register for Queenology happening in Atlanta, Georgia, August 23rd through the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. Now, something that I had not talked about, but last year for Queenology, we gave away a free trip to Egypt. And the beautiful young sister that won that trip was in Egypt with Lisa and I this year, and she just had a blast, right? And this year, for those that are registered, you got to be registered. We are also going to have a drawing because next year we're going to Ghana. Yes, that's already in the works. Next year, Lisa and I are going to Ghana. In fact, we're going a few places next year. But this year, in this Queenology's conference, we're going to pull for someone to win the all expenses paid trip to Ghana. When I say all expenses paid, I mean from, I guess, New York is probably where it takes off from. You'll have to figure out how to get to New York. But once you get on the plane to go overseas, your hotel, all of the transportation that's necessary while we're over in Africa, getting you back home. Most of your probably all of your meals are paid for, and it's just an amazing experience. So those of you that register for Queenology today, your names will be a part of that drawing. I don't know when we're going to cut that off, but that's one of the perks of registering for Queenology. So go and do that now, queenology.net. Now let's get into our discussion today. And I think this one is going to be a blessing to you. You should be um, working on getting your sisters, your friends, your coworkers, and all of these people into this conversation today. So, 7 keys to trying a man, see if this man is husband material. Um, 7 things we should look for that are beneath the surface. 7 intangibles of a husband. That might be a good one. 7 intangibles of a husband. Not that there aren't any more, but these things are definitely a part of a husband, right? And I'll give you the 7 things, and then I'll come back and unpack them. Number 1 is character. Number 1 is character. Usually when we think about type, we're looking beyond character. We're looking at charisma, how charismatic a person is, but we're looking short of character. Consistency. A lot of people can show up really great today, but can they be consistent with that tomorrow? A man that would be the kind of man that the Bible says, let every woman submit to her own husband. The man that would be the kind of man that would be the one you could submit to as a woman is a man that has character. It's a man that is consistent. Number 3, a man that provides clarity. You're not foggy. You're not unclear. You're not uncertain about important things. And then number 4 is communion. This guy shares his heart with you. In other words, there's a sense of communion, a fellowship, a sharing in common. And then this guy, number 5, brings comfort to you. You see, there are a lot of guys that can give you a roll around in the middle of the bed that can't bring comfort to you, who keep you stressed out, who keep you broken, who re-injure. And then number 6, there's communication. A guy that cannot communicate or refuses to communicate is not your guy. Why would you waste time with a man that does not communicate? Why would you consider submitting yourself to a man that does not communicate? That's like joining a church where the pastor's afraid to speak. And then number 7, but not finally, but the 7 points I have for this discussion is a man that has confidence. You can't live your life with a man that is unsure of himself. He has to be a man that has confidence. So now let's jump in. Let's jump into the character piece first. Character refers to the moral and ethical qualities that a person possesses, including honesty, integrity, and respect. In a relationship, a woman may be more likely to submit to a man who demonstrates strong character traits. You see, what we're laying out here today is the kind of man that a feminine woman can always submit to. Mutual respect and trust are key components of a healthy relationship. And a person's character plays a significant role in establishing and maintaining these qualities. So he's a man of what? Character. Why is character important? It is important for a man, for your man to have character because you have to respect him. You see, you can develop a soul tie with a person that you have no respect for. You can develop an addictive sexual relationship with a person that you have no respect for. You can even feel like you're in love with a person that you have no respect for. And as time goes on and all of those other little feelings begin to dissipate, and you're left looking at a person that you don't respect because they don't have character, now you develop resentment, you see. Respect for your man, and you can only respect a man that has the character that commands respect, not demands respect, but a man that walks in the kind of character that commands respect. That's the kind of man that would make for an amazing husband. See, now you got your type and he's cute and he all of this and he's all of that, but he lacks character. And so now you don't have respect for him. You think you don't have respect for him now. Wait until you have a kid for him. And you start looking at your child following the example of your little man that you got here. And you see where this poor a lack of character and this man is rubbing off on your seed. You think you have lack of respect for him. Now you're going to have anger towards him. Then, because your man having character is vital. It's vital. If you look in Proverbs 20 and verse 6, it says, most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. You know, I forget, I think it was on this platform, we were talking about, you know, what makes for a man that would be faithful sexually to his wife. He's a man that has to, first of all, be faithful to himself. And if he's faithful to himself, it means that he's faithful to God. A faithful husband does not start with his love for or respect for his woman. It starts with his respect for himself. Or actually, it starts with his respect for God, his faithfulness to God, that bleeds into him a respect for himself and a faithfulness to himself that spills over into all of his relationship with his woman, his relationship with his friends, the way he handles himself on his job. You know, he's a man of what? Character. Now, let me ask you a question. This little man you running around with, you just running all up and down the street with this little man. You taking all of these pictures with this man. You just got the thing. You just been doing all this here. You taking all these pictures with this little man. Does this boy have character? How many lies have you caught this boy in? But you refuse to acknowledge that you caught him in a lie because you're so desperate, because you feel like, because you're 35 years old, this is your last shot. You've hit the wall. You run over the bridge or whatever, run over the cliff or whatever they call it. And you ignoring the fact that this man lacks character. I'm going to tell you something now. While the looks and all of that stuff gets less and less and less and less attractive as you go along in life with a person, it's not about looks. The character of a person becomes more and more and more and more and more attractive. The Bible says in Proverbs 20:7, the righteous lead blameless lives. Blessed are their children after them. The righteous lead what? Blameless lives. Because they are people of what? Character. This bleeds right out of Proverbs 20:6, which says, most men proclaim everyone his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. The righteous lead blameless lives. Blessed are their children after them. So he has to be a man of what? Character. That's how you're going to trust him. How can you trust somebody that doesn't have character? But when's the last time? When's the last time you actually tested a man for character? You got the measuring tape out. You measuring to see how tall he is. You weighing him to see how much he weigh. You got him opening his shirt up to see if he got 6 knots in his stomach. You trying to count his money to see if he operating with 6 figures. And you've done nothing to check on this man's character. That lets you know you operating with broken consciousness. Because you just investing all of yourself into all of this little superficial stuff that's not gonna go around the block. And you have paid no attention to the stuff that's gonna have to last a lifetime. The second intangible, and all of these things start with C for those of you that are writing. First is character. You start talking about, testing a man to see if this is the kind of man you can call husband, or you can submit to, or whatever you want to call it. The second is consistency. Now, consistency is the ability to act in a predictable and reliable manner over time. Over what time? Over what time? Over what time? Stop rushing. Stop rushing, young sister. Stop rushing. Over time, you get taken in and you get played by these guys because you're in such a rush. You feel so desperate that you're not going to have another opportunity. But consistency is only proven over time. In a relationship, consistency can foster trust and security. A woman may feel more comfortable submitting to a man who consistently demonstrates respect, understanding, and support. Unpredictability, should I say, or inconsistency will always lead to uncertainty and undermine the foundation of a healthy relationship. Man got to be consistent. Man has to be consistent. Anybody can show up today, do a good job of it, talk a good game, and because they did a good job for 7 days, there you are in the middle of the bed, giving them everything they want, making all this noise and everything. Just, my God, I ain't gonna say it because I don't need no smoke today, but you just in the middle of the bed popping all this gum. You just, instead of you proving this guy through time and consistency. It's one thing for a man to say, you say to him, I think I want to wait until I'm married to have sex. The guy says, oh yeah, I'm a Christian too, and I believe in abstinence too, and he plays a good game for about 14 days. And there you are, let all your guard down, and all he got to do is just kind of blow on your neck, blow in your ear. Then you got your eyes rolled back in your head like you're a little schoolgirl. You too old to be having your eyes rolling back up in your head over somebody blowing up in your ear. You got to prove a man through consistency, because consistency is the material of trust. See, like Lisa Blakes handles all of the money. I don't even, the CPA, he does the bookkeeping and gives annual reports and all of that. But I don't need to be watching my money week to week, month to month. Give me a report. What's over here? What's over there? This woman's been in my life for more than half my life. And she's been consistent the whole while she's been here. She's proven. She ain't new to it. She true to it. And I love what James chapter 1, verses 6-8 says, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. When you start seeing instability in a man, you know that you have a man that is double-minded, and a double-minded man is going absolutely nowhere. Now, you can sign up with him and you can go nowhere with him. But a man that's inconsistent, you're not going to change him. You're not going to change him, hon. I'm going to change him. I know once I love him and once I put this on him. Hey, this man and has sex with more people than you can even imagine. What makes you think your little stuff, what you doing, is going to change something about that man? Men are not changed by no good sex. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. Dude is inconsistent because you got broken consciousness. You just continue to invest yourself in a situation that from the get-go told you from the beginning, this is going nowhere. Dude is not consistent. He shows up this day, he doesn't show up the next. That's going to be the pattern for the rest of your life. If you want to choose a man that has the internals, the intangibles, to actually be a husband that you can submit to, you can relax with, and you can sit in your feminine with without worries and without vacillating in and out of from your masculine to your feminine within your relationship, but you can sit in your feminine with your man, he's got to be a man that's consistent. He's got to be a man that's consistent. Lisa and I had a sit down with really two of our kids that are dating, and they're dating for marriage. And one of the comments she made was that she needed him to be consistent. Don't paint this picture that this is what our relationship can be, and then you don't follow through. And I said, amen to that. Lisa said, amen to that. And so, so Lisa asked her the question, said, well, you love flowers. She said, I love flowers. I said, well, does he have to be able to afford to send you a dozen or 2 dozen every week? Or can he send you one? And she said, without batting an eye, send me one. Just be consistent. Because if you send me the one and you're consistent with the one rolls, I know that it's only going to get better from here. And you see, if you don't require of your man to be consistent, see, the thing you ladies fail to understand, which I be trying to teach you, is that when it comes down to this choosing thing, you got to be in the driver's seat. You're not being interviewed. Y'all operating like y'all being interviewed. You are doing the interviewing. And you're doing the choosing. And you have to have certain standards that you want this man to meet. He may not be the richest guy in the world, but he needs to be consistent. He needs to have good character. And then number 3, he needs to always provide you with clarity. You should not be sitting around here clueless about what's the status of our relationship. My first question to you is, how long have you been here in this? My second question is, how long do you plan on staying in this confusion? Because any man that keeps you confused and out of clarity and without clarity, let me read my little stuff. Clarity refers to clear communication and transparency in a relationship. When both partners are open and honest with each other, misunderstandings can be minimized and trust can be strengthened. A woman may be more willing to submit to a man when expectations and boundaries are clearly communicated and understood by both parties. Clarity. I love what James chapter 5 and verse 12 says. Let your yes be yes and your no, no. For whatever is more than these is from the evil one or from the devil. Let your yes be yes. Let your no be no. Because anything that's not either yes or no is from the devil. You don't want to be stuck in a gray area, on a serious point concerning a relationship. And a man that you will be able to submit to and trust and relax with is a man that will provide you with clarity. I don't care how fine he is. If he's not giving you clarity, he ain't the one. Clarity and communication is not just a gift, it is a profound demonstration of respect, understanding, and love. A man who gives his woman clarity empowers her to navigate life with confidence and purpose. Because when a woman is clear, she is free to be her best version for a man. See, like guys, think that they've experienced something sexually, out here in these streets. But man, let me tell you something. When you give your woman clarity and she knows where she stands in your life, and she knows that she's number one in your life, and she ain't got to worry about that, she doesn't even have to think twice about that, you're going to find that wife sex, healthy wife sex, a woman that feels safe and secure, is going to far transcend all of that street sex you've been having. When a woman knows her role in your life and you got that woman feeling safe and secure, I promise you, you're going to see something come up out of this woman that's going to blow your absolute mind. Because when a woman is clear, she is free to be her best version for a man. See, there are a lot of guys that are having sex with women, and these women are really not clear about where they stand. They just love these guys, and they've said yes to the sexual thing. And you don't realize that you're really not even getting 50% of this woman's sexual potential. When this woman really knows where she stands and is clear, this is why the Bible says in 1 Peter 3:7, likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. There's a lot to unpack in that verse, but when he says dwell with them according to knowledge, you got to be smart enough to know that your woman needs clarity. Any wise man understands the power of giving his woman clarity. And then number 4, I only have 7, so I may finish early tonight. Number 4 is communication. Now, communication signifies a deep connection and communion. I got both of them in here, so I'm reading with jet lag eyes. Communion. Communion signifies a deep connection and emotional bond between partners, between the man and the woman. You need to feel that as a woman. You need to feel that deep sense of communion, that deep sense of emotional bonding and connection. In a healthy relationship, emotional intimacy and understanding can create a sense of unity and shared purpose. When a woman feels emotionally connected to a man, she may be more likely to trust his judgment and feel comfortable following his lead. Most women are not comfortable following our lead, gentlemen, because we've not developed that sense of communion. We've not developed that sense of emotional connection. We've just not invested ourselves emotionally. And if you don't invest yourself emotionally, a woman is always going to have some level of resistance to your lead. Some level of resistance. But when when you bond with her as one, there's that emotional connection where she feels seen, she feels heard, she feels appreciated, she feels loved, she feels connected. Nothing gonna beat it, man. Genesis 2:24 says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave. And that word cleave means to stick like glue unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. I love what Deuteronomy 24:5 says, when a man hath taken a new wife, he shall not go out to war, neither shall he be charged with any business, but he shall be free at home 1 year, and shall cheer up his wife which he hath taken. Meaning what? Bond with her. You got to bond with her. I was looking at a image of a man that he was talking to someone else, but his wife was right next to him. And, he had his hand not on the cheeks of her bottom, but he had his hand resting on her thigh. He was kind of holding her close to him while he was talking to someone else. And the body language was just so telling that here's a guy that feels close to his woman. Here's a guy that feels connected to his woman. Here's a guy that's protecting his woman. See, when we as men learn to connect with our women emotionally, we're sending all of these signals. Now, what happens is when she receives all of these signals that she's protected, she's appreciated, she's loved, she's covered, she's valued, she's desired, all of these things that are part of this communion piece, what happens is she begins to just completely sit down on the throne of her femininity. And now we get the version of our woman that all of us as men beg for. I need you to be more feminine, not understanding that femininity is a fruit, masculinity is the seed. When we plant the masculine seed of developing communion with our women, we then reap the fruit of her femininity, where her tone softens and where her demeanor becomes more girl-like, and where she can follow our lead, and she doesn't have all the time 1,000,001 questions about every little thing. Well, we produce that when we develop a sense of communion. Well, you as a woman, you got to be smart enough to understand you can't necessarily completely submit yourself to a man that you don't feel this sense of emotional connection to. Because sexual attraction and your type, totally different from an emotional connection or emotional communion, or even spiritual connection, spiritual communion. Totally different. See, you can only get this kind of communion from your kind. Oh, praise the Lord. Number 5. This guy, one of the intangibles of this guy is that he provides you with comfort. Not comfort in the sense of he spends a lot of money. He may do that too, and he makes certain that you got everything you need. He may do that as well. But a guy can do those things just because he got the money and still be a dog. He can put you in 5-star this and the best restaurants, and he can do all of these things when he got money. But only a guy that's coming from a certain place internally, intangibly, can provide your soul with a sense of comfort when you're in his presence. You can be in the Ritz-Carlton in the presidential suite, and you can still feel uncomfortable with a rich man that's poor internally. Comfort involves creating a safe and supportive environment where both partners feel valued and respected. A woman may be more inclined to submit to a man who prioritizes her well-being and creates a space where she feels secure and cared for. Mutual emotional support and empathy are essential for cultivating a sense of comfort and trust in a relationship. I love this quote, author's unknown, but it reads like this. Masculinity is not about suppressing emotions, but about using strength to provide comfort and security to those who rely on you. So a masculine man that would be a man that would be husband material, that would be one that you may be able to submit to, is one that is going to give your soul a level of comfort. Colossians 3:19 says, husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Do not be harsh with them. Because, and I speak this from personal experience, the comfort of the right man heals a woman from past experiences. I don't think personally, and I'm no mental health professional, but I don't think personally that there is any greater resource for the healing of a traumatized woman's soul than the presence of a healthy, safe man. That's just my thought. Now, we have mental health professionals that are part of this community. If I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong because I'm not a mental health professional. It's just my opinion. I don't think that there's any greater resource for the healing of a woman, a woman whose heart has been broken and whose life has been traumatized, than the presence, the consistent presence of a healthy, safe man. When she can have a man that brings a sense of comfort to her soul, and he keeps showing up, 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 she can rebuild her self-esteem. She can rebuild her, she can shift her worldview back to positive rather than pessimistic. Because it's just my opinion. That's what I've seen in my relationship with her right there. There you go, right there. 1 Peter 3:7 says, husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives. Treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as heirs with you of the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. So this makes you understand that this man has, the guy that would provide this level of emotional, spiritual comfort is a guy that is intentional relative to his thought process concerning his wife or his would-be wife or his woman. He views her as the weaker vessel, and so he treats her like that. Like I brought my mother with me to Egypt, and my 82-year-old mother, I brought her with me to Egypt. And I told the second group, I said, now listen, I'm not going to necessarily have all of the time that I would like to have had with you one-on-one personally, because I got my mother, and I got to make certain that I take care of my mother. So I was, had my mother by a little arm, and I was gently holding her, but holding her firmly enough that I wasn't going to let her fall, right? And so a man that has the right heart towards you as a woman, he kind of handles you that way. He handles you gently and firmly at the same time. because he brings about a sense of comfort in your life. Number 6 is communion or communication. I said communication for communion. I'm saying communion for communication. Yeah. I am turning 60 in a few days. Communication. Communication is key to building and sustaining a healthy relationship. Open and honest communication allows partners to express their needs, their feelings, and concerns effectively. A woman may be more willing to submit to a man who actively listens, because communication is more than talking. It's also about listening. It's at least 50% listening, at least that. If you're a great communicator, it's probably 70% listening. Because if you're a great communicator, you learn how to say what you need to say with fewer words, and you learn to listen for what another person heard or thought they heard, and then you're able to clarify. But back to my point. A woman may be more willing to submit to a man who actively listens, communicates clearly, and engages in meaningful dialogue to address challenges and strengthen the relationship. Because the intent of communication is understanding. The intent of communication is not to get somebody straight. That's where most of y'all are making your error in terms of your relationships. When you start talking about, we need to communicate, what you're really saying is you want to vent a lot of stuff that you've allowed to build up childishly rather than dealing with it as you went. You want to just tell them what they got, and you don't want to listen to nothing they got to say. You're going to let them have a minute to talk while you're not even paying attention. You're preparing your rebuttal to what they had to say. That's not communication. The intent of communication is understanding. I need to understand you, babe. That's how I try to approach it with Lisa sometimes. I get in my emotions, and I want to get heated because I'm thinking about it a certain way. I'm feeling about it a certain way. Then I got to calm that down, and I got to remind myself the purpose of communication is understanding. She's coming from her own individual perspective, which I'm not privy to unless I listen to her. And so now I got to calm it down. I got to listen to her. I got to be able to judge what she says and be able to say, okay, she is right, and be able to admit that she's right. But when a man can do those things, a woman can submit to that kind of man. If you choosing guys that can't communicate or don't want to communicate, but they jumping around, bouncing up and down, bouncing you up and down in the middle of the bed, where do you think that's going? The Bible says this in Proverbs 4:7, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. That's the purpose of communication, to get understanding. Bible says a man should dwell with his wife according to knowledge. How can you get the knowledge if you don't get an understanding? How can you get the understanding if you don't communicate? And how can you communicate if you do not listen? Because when a man communicates with his woman from his heart, he builds a bridge of understanding and trust that can withstand any storm. It's a contradiction for us as men to say, I'm the leader. I can't communicate. Well, if you can't communicate, get out the way. You ain't no leader if you can't communicate. Get out the way. Let somebody lead that can communicate. Get out the way. If you can't communicate, you're a follower. You're not a leader. You're not a leader. We got to stop saying that as men. I just can't communicate. Some people can talk. Some people can communicate. Everybody can't do that. I can't communicate. Well, get out of the way. You are not a leader. You ain't no leader. Get out the way if you can't. If you thinking thoughts and you can't say out your mouth what you thinking in your head, or at least write it down on paper, get out the way. You're not a leader. I love what Proverbs 24:3-4 says. Through wisdom is an house builded, and by understanding it is established. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. By what? Understanding it is established. We got to get an understanding if we're going to see. And the more you communicate, back in the day, years ago, Lisa and I, we had to have conversations all of the time. All of the time. But the more we had them and the more we got understanding, the more synchronized we got. The more synchronized we got. Now we can kind of function, you know. We rarely do we have situations where we out of step. Rarely. And if we do get there, we can get back in sync quickly, because understanding, it is through understanding that the house is established, that the relationship is established. Please, ladies, do not fool yourself and think that you can go the distance with a man that does not communicate. You will not respect him. You will not trust him. You will not honor him, and you will certainly not submit to him. And brothers, if you desire to have a woman that will submit to you, you got to work on your communication skills. You can't continue to walk around here. I can't talk about all. I just can't talk. I don't know. I just don't know. Well, you can't be the leader if you can't talk. You can't be the leader if you can't talk. Because you not talking as the leader of a woman and demanding that she submits to you is like me showing up for this podcast like this. How long do you think these people are going to be able to stay tuned into that? I'm preaching better than y'all. I say, how long do you think that the people are going to be able to stay tuned in to that? That's what you look like when you're a man and you can't communicate what's on your heart. You need to submit to me. Okay, I hear you. Communication is truth. Communication is happiness. To share is our duty. To go down boldly and bring to light those hidden thoughts, which are the most diseased even. To conceal nothing, to pretend nothing. If we are ignorant, to say so. If we love our friends, to let them know. That's Virginia Woolf. Communicate, whatever the feeling, whatever the truth, communicate it to those that you really love. And you got to have a man, ladies, that can communicate. Now, this boy you got now, can he communicate? He just walking around, he looking good, he cute and everything. Yeah. Got all this olive oil he put all over his body. He's greased up, just greased up. He laid up in the middle of the bed, just greased. And can't put three words together. Dumb as a box of rocks. I say dumb as a box of rocks. Can't put three words together. Don't have no books. Ain't read no books. Okay, let me leave it alone. But that's what you want to try to bring to the altar. God bless your heart. And then finally, number 7, and I'm out of here. If you're going to have a man that you can submit to, he's going to have to be a confident man. He's going to have to believe in himself. He's going to have to believe in himself. He's going to have to be able to say, is it Philippians 4:19? No, I don't. I be trying to remember scriptures, book, chapter, verse. I'm not the greatest at it. Well, the Bible talks about I can do all things. See, some of y'all already know that, so put it in the chat for me. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I think it is. I think it is Philippians. I think Philippians 4:19 is my God shall supply all. I may be getting in deeper waters, but you need a confident man. Confidence is the belief in oneself and one's abilities. If he don't believe in himself, how you going to believe in him? In a relationship, confidence can be attractive and reassuring. A woman may be more likely to follow a man who displays confidence in his decisions and actions, as it can convey a sense of security and trustworthiness. Confidence can also contribute to effective leadership and decision-making within the relationship, fostering a sense of stability and direction. Because a man that lacks personal confidence is going to always end up unattractive. You're going to have a man that believes in himself. You're just going to have it. You're going to have a man that believes in himself. And so I want you to take these 7 things that I've laid out for you, meditate on them, and in the process of your relationships, so intentionally look beneath the surface and begin to ask yourself, does this guy demonstrate confidence, communication, comfort, communion, clarity, consistency, character? Now, I pray that you've gotten something out of this. That is my sincere prayer. And those of you that may need counseling, I want you to go to the description, and there's a link for BetterHelp counseling. Sometimes we need somebody to talk to. No sense in you sitting there with all of that stuff going on in your head, going on in your mind, and you can simply hit the link, see what BetterHelp offers, and you can, within minutes, have someone on the phone that you can talk to from the privacy of your own home. If you use that link, it will afford you 10% off of the cost of their counseling. And then they, in turn, because I referred them, will make a deposit into RC Blakes Ministries. Now, my prayer is that for those of you that have sown into our lives tonight, Lisa and I love you so much. And we appreciate you. We thank you for valuing what we do. We really, 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 really do. There have been many days that we've thought about discontinuing this, but it's been because of not just those of you that have given into, that's so into us, but because of those of you that show up every week and you are supportive of what we do. It makes us come back week after week after week after week. And if you notice, even when I travel, I'm very much so consistent with this. It's because I have a very supportive community, and I appreciate it with all my heart. Now, don't forget to go by Amazon, pick up all of my books. This one here, The Father-Daughter Talk, is the first book in what I call the trilogy. The second book that speaks to the empowerment of women. First is The Father-Daughter Talk. Then there's Queenology. The third book is dropping at Queenology this year in Atlanta, entitled Training for Reigning. That's going to make up the trilogy, the 3 books that really go together and flow together to the empowerment of women as God gave me this revelation. But go to Amazon, pick up any or all of my books. Go and pick up Father-Daughter Talk, Queenology, Soul Ties, and the list goes on. Again, you can register for Queenology at queenology.net, and do it now. Do it now. And I understand that we have some more VIP spaces that have opened. The Royal Court experience is what it's called. For those of you that just want to experience the entire weekend, go to queenology.net. You can see what that entails. The main part is the Saturday. It is the Saturday brunch, where we're going to really just dig in and pour into your lives, and you get a chance to network with women from all around the country and even from other parts of the world. It's an amazing networking entity, Queenology it is. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you. Queenology.net. Go and register now. What am I missing? What am I missing? I know I'm missing something. So y'all forgive me if I'm forgetting something. Forgive me. Looking forward to seeing everybody this Friday night for my 60th birthday party at the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you for all of you that are coming to be a part of it. It means the absolute world to me. Also, we're having a call within a week relative to an informational call relative with Jay Cameron relative to our Ghana trip next year. All of the ladies that came from all over the country in both groups say they want to do it again, and Ghana was like the #1 spot everybody said they want to go to. So we're going to Ghana next year, and we're going to a second location next year. I'll let you know where later. Ghana will be up somewhere around June. Second location will be around the end of the year. But if you need information, just make certain that you are part of my mailing list. We will send out all of the information relative to the informational call for Ghana for those of you that desire to make the trip this time. It'll be life-changing. I love you with all of my heart. You're on top and you're going higher. God has more in store for you. So I'm RC Blakes Jr. saying to you once again, we, Lisa and I, will see you at the top. God bless you. Until next time.
We here at RC Blakes Ministries want to thank you for spending this time with us today. RC and Lisa are always honored to have you with us. Don't forget to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.rcblakes.com. While you're there, you may join our mailing list and receive a free download of The Laws of Manifesting Your Vision by RC Blakes. Also look at all of the online programs by RC. You may find all books written by RC and Lisa. Once again, all of us here at RC Blakes Ministries want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And as we always say, see you at the top.
My queen, my queen. Oh, she. Beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel. So strong, even in struggle, yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, yeah, and Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful, educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen, she's a queen. You better treat her like a queen. Oh, oh, oh. she's carrying back to work, 'cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall, a champion, a true woman. But nothing compares to all she do. Yeah, the true meaning of every family. She's the glue